Hi everybody, this is Billy Moan with Rambling Rose Studio, Independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I thought today we'd build a fence. I posted this card last week and I've had so many questions about, how I got the fence and the little planter box and whatever. So I promised a video, and that's what this is today. I'm going to try to show you how to put this fence together. It's one fence. I've done a couple, and I may do another video and show the opposite of this one. But in any event, today we're going to build this little whitewashed fence with a planter box hanging on it. So let's get started. Now remember, when you do your cards, you want to do your envelope to coordinate. You want to do the inside to coordinate. And then on the back, be sure that you put your initial or whatever stamp you use to claim this as your own original artwork, because you should be proud of it by the time you get through, and hopefully whoever receives it will really appreciate all your hard work. So let's move this over out of the way. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11, and then we're going to score it on our score tool at 5 1/2, and so the card will open this way. So there's that. Let's get the first layer done with the clouds. I'm going to bring the big shot in here. So the clouds run on this embossing folder horizontally, and so I'm going to turn my paper this way to get horizontal clouds for the front. So I've got my paper, it's Pool Party, and we're just going to roll that through. And here's our layer for our clouds. Okay, so that's going to go right here. We're just going to adhere that down just like that. Now then, for the two little clouds that are in the top, put that over here. I use the cupcake punch, and the little icing topping is what I use. So I punch out one, and then another one. And then I used my Pool Party stamping pad and a sponge, which this comes as a large circular sponge, and you can cut it into wedges, and then I've got the name of the... So here's that. And what I did was just go around and sponge the edges of the clouds just so they pop off of the page a little bit. So you're going to do that. And I put the first one down on the card with one-dimensional right here, and on the second one I put two-dimensional so that it sticks up just a little bit more and overlaps the first one. So that's how the clouds are done. Alright, now let's build our fence. That's the main thing that I had the most questions about. So let me move this right there and show you that I'm using the hardwood background stamp. I have it on the largest acrylic block here, so I'm going to put that down. And then I'm using white cardstock. I'm going to ink my stamp with basic gray, like this. Make sure you get it inked really good. With these background stamps, if you can do it, it's better to use it upside down. Place your cardstock straight. Put a piece of scrap paper over it, and just be sure you rub the entire image so that when you pick it up, you've got your hardwood. Isn't that a great stamp, a great background stamp? Okay, so I'm going to leave that right here because we're going to use it again. So now I've got this piece. This is let's see, this is 5.5 by 4.25. But our little fence here is only 4 inches wide. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my cutter. You see that? I'm going to cut this at 4 inches because that's what we're going to use by the time we're through. So we've got 4 inches here. Let's move this out of our way. And bring our big shot back in. Okay, so here's how we cut the fence line. So we've got a cutting pad, we've got our magnetic platform. I've got the next to the largest oval. The only oval larger than this in that framelit set is the one with the scallops. So it's the next one down. This is cut 4.5 by 5, 4 by 5.25 now. And you see what I've done? See, because it'll slip through. I've got the cutting edge up. I'm sliding my paper. I'm threading it through. So nothing's going to cut down here because here's my cutting edge. Lay it on your magnetic platform. Center it on the oval. You just want to catch the top of it up here to get your oval. Alright, so, we don't have our first platform down. That would help, wouldn't it? That's got to be there. We don't want to cut into our magnetic platform there. So let me get that set back. We're just going to cut just right at the top there. I'm going to put this one on top and roll it through. Ooh. Okay, so when we lift this up, you see what it's done is just cut that top off, and look what we have. This is the top of our fence there, right here. See it? Can you see that? See how it's curved at the top? Alright, but I didn't want to use it solid. I wanted it to look like it was cut and you could see through the fence. So, I took this piece now and my trimmer and I cut it in 1-inch pieces. Okay, just cut it 1 inch. I'll make it like this. That would make it a lot easier, wouldn't it? So we're going to cut it in 1-inch pieces. One more. Then I'll show you. Okay, so this is our 2 center pieces. On our 2 end pieces, I'm going to cut like a 1/4 of an inch off of each one of those. And I'm going to save that piece. We're going to use that. Okay? And then this is the other end. I'm going to cut a little bit off of that one too, about a 1/4 of an inch. You can space them after you get them all cut. It's not going to be... That'll give you enough room to have spaces in between your slats. So save this piece too. Alright. I've got 3 pieces here because the time before I should have told you this. To cut however big you want your fence to be. Look at the front of your card. This is the front of your card. Right here, this piece. This is the one we'll be working on. And how tall do you want your fence to be? Now, ideally, I should have cut this already before I cut it in strips, but in any event, how big do you want your fence to be? Do you want it all the way up there? Or do you want it down? See, I've got mine down about 2/3. About 2/3. So, right here, I'll tell you what that is for me. You can cut off as much as you want. That's about 1 inch off the bottom. Or just right to this line right here. For me, that's how big I'm going to make my fence. So, I'm going to put these together. and cut them right to that line for me. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, shorter, whatever you want. Get this one cut. Ideally, I should have cut that before I cut it into the planks, but that's okay. I mean, we're fine. It's not a big deal. All right, then on this right here, you're going to use dimensionals. Everything's on dimensionals on this card. And you're going to build your little fence. So, just put dimensionals top and bottom. This one is the left side. So I'm going to start it just a little flush with the bottom, just a little bit from the side. And then the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put one top and bottom here. And I'm going to bring it in just a little from the side, flush with the bottom, and just a little bit from the side. All right, we've about got our fence built here. A little gate. This one I'm going to put flush with the bottom and just leave just a little bit, you know, so like you can see through the fence. And then here's our last piece for the gate. I don't know why I'm working on top of my trimmer, but in any event. Okay, so see how you have your spaces? Okay, so I know this is a little thinner, but you know, gates are not perfect, so I wouldn't worry about that. So from the pieces you cut off the bottom, you're going to have one cross piece that'll go like this. You're going to have one piece that's going to go across like this. And another piece that's going to go across like this. What do you think? So I would put those on with dimensionals and then take my scissors and trim them. So let's go ahead and everything, when you look at this card, when you're holding it and looking at it in real life, it really comes out at you because everything on here is on dimensionals. They just keep coming at you. So let's put this here from corner to corner. Let me grab some scissors here. And then I would just trim it with the sides. See, you can see from the back. Can you see that? Trim that there. Back there. And this one's just a little corner right there. Okay. And then this one. I hope you can see my hands. I'm so bad about getting off camera. That there. And that there. Okay. Well, I guess we want that about like that. And there's my last piece. If you can see, can you still see this card? Do you see the little black, it looks like maybe nails or something in the bottom? Those are pearls that I colored with a black StazOn pen. I mean black permanent marker pen to make it look like little, I don't know, nail heads or whatever. So if you want to add that, you can certainly do that. It does give it a lot of realism there. Okay, so we're going to put this one here. And then we're going to flip it over and trim our ends. Alright, I'm going to get rid of that. I think we're through with that. So, you see that? That's the way our fence looks. Now, I don't know. I kind of don't like that right there. Well, I'll leave it for right now. I might trim that off there and there. That might look better. What do you think? Maybe. Okay. I want to show you how to build your, I'm going to set that over the side, how to build your little planter box. This is a 2x3 piece of basic gray. And so we're going to ink up part of our stamp here and put that down. We want that to look like it's wood too. get the image on there. And I'm going to show you how to cut your little planter box, see? So we're going to take our trimmer and we're going to put 1 point on the cut line and 1 point on the 1/4 inch line here, just like that, and trim it. See that? Then you want to flip it over and you want to put 1 corner on your cut line, 1 corner on the 1/4 inch line. And wait, it goes the other way. This way. Ooh. Let me see. Alright. That's it. No, that's not it either. We want it to go this way, so put this one and that one. Alright, that's it. So see, it makes a little like window box there to go. Alright, so that's how you build that. That looks a little wide to me. Maybe 1.5 inches would be better. I can make that 1.5 inches real quick. That's better. 1.5 inches by 3 is what it is. Okay, so then for the leaves, I use the Bird Builder punch, this one, and I punched out 3 or 4. This is gumball green, and I punched out 3 or 4 of these, and then this is pistachio green. Some of those, just to have a little variation in the color. So you would punch out several of those, and I tell you, I put them on with glue dots. I just took my tool that I use with my glue dots, this, and I just rolled it on here first, just rolled it over itself, just like that, and then I would just put a glue dot like on one leaf, like that, and put it down, and it holds it great, see? So that's the way I put the leaves on. Now then, let's talk about these flowers. You got your fence built, let's put some flowers in our flower box. The colors that I used on this particular card are Summer Star Fruit, Real Red, and then of course Pool Party. So I've got 2 of each color and then a white one. And I used the Petite Petals flowers stamp set. And I don't know about you, but I do this sometimes with little stamps, like if I'm doing several and I want one that color. I might be showing you something bad here, but it is what I do sometimes when I'm doing several. Okay, so I just want to get some there for you to see how I do them. So I have that, and then I use the Petite Petal Punch and the Itty Bitty Flower, and I will punch them out. And really, if I have time, what I like to do is spray them with water on the back side, not on the front where the ink is, but on the back side before I do this little curl treatment to them. But I won't do that today. But I would turn them over and spray them just a little bit to get them damp. And then this same tool that I use for everything, I would push them down into this mat to curl them up like so. Okay? And then the little centers are the Itty Bitty Punch. Got little bitty flowers everywhere. And I do the same thing to them. I spray them. And when they dry, they just hold their shape so much better. I'm looking to see if you can see that. Yes, you can. Okay. So there you go. I push them down in there. Get them all curled up like so. And then I would take a glue dot and put it on the little one. And put that in the middle of a big one. Okay. And then in the center of that, on this card right here, I've got the pearls. So I put a pearl in the middle of that. Just like that. And then on the back, to attach it, of course, we're going to use another dimensional. So then it stands up off of your card like that. What do you think? That really gives it a lot of dimension. I've got 2 of each color plus 1 white one that's done, just to kind of brighten it up a little bit. So that's how I built my fence. I had so many questions about it. I just thought, well, okay, I'll just build a fence on video and let you see how I did that. So to get the curve, I wanted you to be able to see how you get that curve with the oval by threading it through with a cutting edge up. But I think definitely, I didn't do it on this one, but I would cut this off here and here so you just have the crossbar going like that. I should have done that before I did it, but hey, every time we do something, it comes out differently. So there's your fence. I hope you enjoyed that and that you'll give a fence a try if you've got that hardwood stamp, background stamp. If you don't have it, you can certainly order it from my website, my blog site, at ramblingrosestudio.com. And thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed that today.